So we're on lap 29 out of 30 now. We've been going flat out, balls to the wall for more than 25 laps here, putting the laps of my life in. Hello there viewers, and welcome back to another video today here in real life. So you join us today for round 3 of the Sub 51 racing series, and you join us finally in dry weather conditions. First 2 rounds of this series were in cold, wet, miserable weather, but we are now finally in nice dry weather, nice summer's evening here in July. Now first of all, before I proceed any further, just need to apologise for the camera footage in this video being a bit rubbish. Basically, the kart that I had for this round, the NASA panel, which is what the camera is attached to, was rather wobbly, so yeah, the footage unfortunately is quite shaky in this round, so please do persevere with it. But going to bring up the grid here. So the starting grid, like the previous round, is a random grid, so it was basically drawn out of a hat, your starting positions. You've got starting in 3rd place, you've got Josh Williams, who I spoke about last round, very quick driver, so you've got to keep an eye out for Josh starting all the way up in 3rd place, got very lucky with the grid draw. You then got Chris Bidle starting in 7th, so he's also got quite lucky with that grid draw. And then if you can look right the way down the order, all the way down in P15, you have me. So yes, we've not been treated kindly here by the random grid draw, starting right towards the back of the grid, down in 15th place out of these 19 karts. And then the other guy to look out for is Ed Bridle. So you can see Ed Bridle starting 10th as well, twin brothers with Chris. As I spoke about in the first video of this series, those two really quick drivers, professional race car drivers, so do need to keep an eye out for them, and we do need to try and catch them up, to be honest, because we are starting quite a long way back. Now, going to have a look at the championship standings here going into this round, and the reason why these are quite important is because in Sub 51 in this season you had 4 rounds with your best 3 rounds counting, so you had one drop round, you dropped your worst score at the end of the championship. And well, if you have a look at the numbers and add them all up, basically as long as we get a good result today, and especially as long as we beat the Bridle brothers, we will be champion today in round 3. So the championship is on the line here. We could indeed win the championship with a round to spare because of the drop round rule. Now, practice for this round went pretty well, to be honest. So before the race we had a 10-minute warm-up session, and well, set a really fast lap time in the end, ended up doing a 49.798 in practice, which was nearly a quarter of a second quicker than everybody else. So I was really happy with my pace in practice. When I saw the lap time when we went to grid up for the race, really happy with it indeed. But moving ahead to the race start itself, starting in P15, remember, and as the lights go green then, going to have to go to the right immediately to avoid the kart in front of us who didn't really get off the line. And well, we're all the way on the grass here, completely on the grass, got pushed over to the right there by the karts that didn't really move off the line. Going through top bend now, we've already caught up to Ed Bridle, who started in P10, remember, so already caught him up. And going into hairpin 1 now, Ed just went defensive, so we couldn't get past him, but we are now going to try and get past Chris May. So we've got kart number 11 on our right side, and we're going to pick him off. So coming out of hairpin 2 now, we've already managed to make our way up into 9th place. So started in 15th place, managed to gain 6 places already, and going through Science Sweep, we're going to send it around the outside of 2 karts there at Science Sweep, and now going to overtake 2 more karts then into post 6. Apologies for that contact then, by the way, and Daniel Mays, didn't mean to do that. I think I may have been bumped from behind. But coming out of Garden now, we're going to go up the inside of yet another kart as we go up the inside of Richie Tibbetts, and we're now side by side with him going through Cafe Curve. Are we going to be able to pull the move off? So coming across the line then, we're already up into 4th place, and going around top end, we've unfortunately still got Richie on our inside here, so this is costly, this is losing us a lot of time. And heading down into hairpin 1 now, Ed Bridle is going to be able to capitalise on that, on our poor run through top end, and Ed has now managed to make his way back past us. So back down to P5 then, got Ed back in front of us after we went round his outside at Science Sweep, got past both him and Paul McGinns. So in 5th place now on lap 2, and well, the guys in front, Josh and Chris, they have pulled off a long way into the distance. I mean, you can't even see Josh, and you can barely see where Chris is, so this is really not a great start for us. We're going to have a lot of time to try and make back up here once we get clear of the karts in front of us. And yeah, coming towards the end of lap 2 now, still behind Ed as we're looking all over the back of him, trying to see if we can get past at all. Yeah, trying to lose as little time as possible. Going up to top bend, Ed is going to go defensive, so this is really costly now. I was thinking of going for the move there, but no, had to think think better of it. Heading down to hairpin 1, Ed, he's gone defensive once more, and we're only on lap 3 of this 30-lap race. Now got Matt Rogers, the organiser, in front of us, and got Ed going defensive again into hairpin 2, and we're going to get the cut back on him though out of this second hairpin, so we've managed to get the undercut, still behind Matt Rogers though, so we have made our way up into 4th. We've still got Matt in front of us, and as we head down now through Science Sweep, Matt a bit oddly just moved over to the left there, not quite sure why, because that is a flat out right hander, but we have at least managed to get past him, so we are now up into P3. So on lap 3 of the race, now up into 3rd, having started 50, so decent start overall. But, I mean, just look ahead to where the guys are in front. It's a massive, massive gap to the guys up ahead. And as we come across the start-finish line now, to start lap number 4, the gap to Chris Bridle in front has gone up to 3.6 seconds. So when we were at the start of lap 2, just 2 laps ago, the gap to Chris was only 2 seconds. And it's now at 3.6 seconds. So that gap has gone up a lot there with that scrapping with Richie Tibbets, with Ed, and with Matt. So got a big, big gap to try and reel in now. And the gap to Josh is another 1.7 seconds ahead of that, so got a lot of time to gain here. For those who aren't aware, for those that haven't watched previous videos, Chris is a factory brick car driver, so he's a factory Praga driver, teammates with Jimmy Broadbent in brick car. So well, catching Chris Bridle here is going to be no easy feat. He is a supremely talented driver, and Josh, who's in the lead, is a very good driver in his own right. He runs his own team called the BW Racing Team, who just last weekend won the Daytona Milton Keynes 24 Hours. So we've got 2 supremely talented drivers to have to try and catch up here. It's going to be very difficult for us to do so indeed. Just faded away the gaps, by the way, to the guys behind, because to be honest, over the course of the rest of the race, we did pull away from Ed and Matt behind. I think we ended up beating them by 11-12 seconds. So going to focus on the guys in front for the rest of this race, and well, over the course of the next 9 laps, managed to pump in some really consistent lap times. Every single one of the next 9 laps was a high 49-second lap time, so I was really happy with that. So moving ahead then to lap 14, you can see the gaps on the left hand side, they have come down, so we've managed to gain a second on Chris over the course of the last 9 laps, and Chris has managed to gain a second on Josh as well. So those gaps, they have come down. You can now see the 2 leaders in front of us coming out of hairpin 2. You can see them now, so we have gained time with them. We have now got back markers to deal with those. So we've got Bill Wells in front of us, and traffic could be very well what decides who wins this race or not, who can, you know, get past back markers as efficiently as possible. So coming down now into post 6, going to get past Bill. Fortunately, that didn't lose us too much time, but as we come to the end of sector 2, the gap is going to go up to Chris, so we did lose about 3 tenths there, but fortunately not too much. Managed to deal with Bill quite efficiently, but like I say, it could be who gets past the back markers the quickest that decides who wins this race, as well as obviously who is the most consistent and who is the fastest. Moving ahead a couple more laps, we've got more back markers to contend with, so we've got Miles Smith and Chris Mays right in front of us. By the way, managed to get the gap down to under 1.5 seconds, so we've managed to do a good job here over the last couple of laps to catch the guys in front. And coming through the S's now, we're going to get the undercut on Miles Smith in a very unconventional move. Going to get the cut back on him through the second part of the S's, going down now into post 6. We're going to get past Chris Mays as well. So we managed to do a really good job then of contending with those back markers, managed to get past them quite efficiently without losing too much time, and we've now managed to get the gap down to only 1.2 seconds. So that gap only a couple of laps ago was 2.2 seconds, now it's only 1.2 seconds. So we managed to very much catch Chris up in front. Coming into top end then, we're going to go past Jamie Mount as well, so it's another marker, back marker dealt with pretty well, and we've got the gap now down to under a second. So that gap, what, 10 laps ago or so, it was 3.6 seconds, now down to 0.9, and Josh is only another 1.5 seconds ahead of that as well, so only 2.5 seconds now to the leaders. Managed to do a lot of catching up. Now looking up ahead, we've got more back markers, so we've got Richie Tibbets again up ahead, and we've got Chris who's going to have to contend with him. So is Chris going to lose much time here going into post 6? He is going to get held up through that corner there, so he has lost some time as we lost the back end there, just had to straight line it down the bottom there. Yeah, just lost the back end on the brakes, but coming out of Garda now, we're going to go into the back of Richie Tibbets, and that is going to be really costly, because that has not only slowed us down a lot, but we're now losing time all the way down this straight because we lost so much momentum coming out of Garda. Now going alongside Richie, we have managed to get past him into top bends, but that one piece of contact that lost us half a second, and when every 10th counts in a race like this, losing half a second by going into the back of a back marker really is, really costly. So that has cost us time. Now hopefully that won't cost us the win. 2 laps later, and well, you've got more back markers up ahead. So you've got Ryan Borman and Mark the Murderer Nil just in front of Chris Bridle. So hopefully Chris will lose some time here. That would be nice. And well, coming out of hairpin 1 now, both of them have got a really bad run out of there, and they're really holding us up now. Ryan Borman just getting in the way there, coming out of hairpin 1, and now we've got Mark Neal in front of us now as we head down the hill. So this is really not good. You never want to come across back markers when they're in a group. You want to just be able to pick them off one by one. So coming now through Paul Moons, we're looking all over the back of him. Can we go up the inside into post 6? Yes, we can, but that has lost us time. Like I say, coming across a group of back markers, never a good thing, because it's always difficult to get past them without losing a whole load of time. The gap to the guys in front has gone up to 1.4 seconds, so we've lost 0.4 of a second just through those 2 back markers there. But moving ahead to lap 23, the guys in front, they've now got more traffic. So you've got Adam Walker in front, but he is just going to move out of the way here and let those guys pass. So yeah, Josh and Chris, who are fighting for the lead, didn't lose any time there as Adam just waved them past, and hopefully Adam will do the same for us when we catch him up sometime soon. So coming up to start lap 24 then, the gap to the leaders is 1.1 seconds, and Chris Bridle up ahead. He has gone up the inside of Josh Williams into top bend then. He's got a run on him into that first corner on the start finish straight, and he's gone for the move then. He's into the lead of the race, now going defensive into hairpin 2. He's fending Josh off as we ourselves are trying to get past Adam here, trying to see if we can get past. This is good news for us with the guy, the lead is battling. That is going to help us catch him up. But now coming down into side sweep, trying to go for the move on Adam Walker. Hopefully he'll just back out here and let us by, but no, he has hit us. Adam has hit us off the circuit, and we are now off the circuit once more, losing huge amounts of time here dealing with this back marker. Going through Garda, we're going to get absolutely smashed into once more, and to be honest, I was absolutely fuming at this point. I was looking at Adam, hand gesturing him. What the hell are you doing? I was 9/10 behind Josh then, going at the end of sector 1, and now I am more than 2 seconds behind him. So now with 6 laps to go, I am miles behind the leaders here, more than 2 seconds behind. To be honest, I don't think Adam realised what was going on. I don't think he realised that A, I was trying to win the championship, and B, like how close I was to the guys. I don't think Adam realised I was there, to be honest, and yeah, didn't realise the seriousness of the situation. So that has been really, really bad news for us then. With what, 5.5 laps to go, we are now 2 seconds behind the leaders in front. We have got to hope for a miracle here. Either a back marker is going to do what Adam basically just did and get right in the way, or we've got to hope for them to kill each other. The 2 guys in front, we've got to try and hope they swipe each other off the circuit or something, because with what, 5 laps to go now, gaining 2 seconds on people who are doing 49-second lap times just doesn't happen. You don't catch people who are doing 49-second lap times that quickly, not when you weigh as much as I do. So now with 5 laps to go, we've got our real work cut out here. And I absolutely did not want the championship decider, the championship, finale to be the final round of the championship. I wanted to wrap the championship up now. I did not want to have to take it to the final round. So now with 4 laps to go then, got the gap down to 1.5 seconds. So we're doing what we can here, down to 1.5 seconds. And yeah, we are catching them at a fair rate of knots here. We need to catch them at a rate of half a second a lap if we want to be in range on the final lap to go for a move. So things aren't looking too bad here. We've got a back marker in front as well. We've got Adam Scott, who's in last place, but he has moved out the way kindly for the leaders. I would have liked it if you'd held them up, to be honest, but at least you were respectful and left them space, and hopefully the same will go for us. Hopefully he'll leave us space. And now this lap, by the way, 49.707, so this is a really quick lap. Coming down the hill now, coming through Pullman's, coming through post 6. I'm not going to lie, we did start cheating at this point. Yeah, at this point I hadn't got any track limit warnings, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to just start straight lining it down the bottom a couple of times as Adam Scott flies out a shot there, because I knew I had kind of warnings that I could burn through. I could get a couple of warnings before I then actually got a penalty. So now with 3 laps to go, we've got that gap now down to 1.2 seconds as the guys continue to fight in front. You've got Josh right behind Chris, and you've got myself, just over a second behind. Now side by side going into hairpin 2, and Josh is going to go for a move then into that second hairpin. He did the dummy on Chris there. He went to the right, then went to the left, and Josh now is back into the lead of the race. We have got the gap to the leaders in front down to less than a second, so we are now only 9/10 off of Chris Bridle, having been more than 2 seconds behind not long ago. Coming through post 6, we are again going to straight line it, going to try and gain as much time as we possibly can here. Like I say, didn't have any track track limit warnings up until now, so I knew I could straight line it a couple of times without getting a post-race penalty. Coming up the hill now, we are now only 6 tenths behind Chris Bridle as we enter the second to last lap of the race. So we're on lap 29 out of 30 now. We've been going flat out, balls to the wall for more than 25 laps here, putting the laps of my life in, doing solid 49-second lap times every single lap, and we are right behind Josh Williams now as he is fighting for position with Chris Bridle, and we are trying to sneak up the inside now off Joshua Williams on this penultimate lap of the race. Can we win the championship? After all that we've been through, starting 15th place on the grid, we are now finally up into second place. We have caught the leaders up ahead. We've got Chris Bridle now only 3 tenths in front of us. We're going to straight line it once more. Now, in my defence, Chris Bridle straight lined it just as much as I did. I straight lined it 3 times this race, and he did as well. And Josh Williams was abusing track limits into helping one every single lap. So we were all cheating completely in this race. We were all taking the mickey out of track limits. But entering the final lap of the race now, we've got Chris Bridle going defensive into top bane. Can we make a move into hairpin 1? It is the prime overtaking opportunity on this circuit. No, we're not. Chris Bridle is going to go defensive. Can we get the cutback out of hairpin 1 though? We're instead going to make contact, so we can't make the move there. Can we get the cutback out of hairpin 2? It's one of my favourite moves to do. No, we cannot. So Chris Bridle, he's fended us off there. He is looking behind. We are literally on his back bumper now, heading down the hill on the final lap of the race. Can we win this race after all? Can we take the championship win? Coming through Paul Wins, we are going to go for the move into post 6 and now go hard to the right to defend. Can we win this race? We are finally into the lead of the race with 20 seconds remaining. We are into the lead, coming up the hill now. Is this going to be the championship? Are we about to win the title? Coming up to the start-finish line, we are indeed going to win the race.
Oh, yes!
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Yes, we are. We are going to win the race and we are going to win the title. I led that race for 25 seconds. The thing is though, the 25 seconds that I was in the lead for were the last 25 seconds, the only 25 seconds that count. So yes, indeed, that is going to be my first ever championship win in the adult karts here at Buttonmore. I've been racing in the RT8 since I was 14 years old, and now at the age of 19, finally taking my first championship victory against 2 professional race car drivers. And I mean, to say I was happy right now would be rather an understatement. I was ecstatic to beat 2 professional race car drivers to the title with a round to spare, win all 3 rounds. Yeah, I was over the moon, and I also beat my personal best lap time as well in that race, admittedly because I straight lined it down the bottom, but I did a 49.408 in that race, which I was completely over the moon about after the race. 2 years before this, I'd never even done a 49-second lap time, so to do consistent 49s in this race, I was over the moon. But going to bring up the championship standings now, and yet you can see confirmation of my championship victory then, finishing, well, not finishing the season, but after 3 rounds, got maximum points, got 60 points. We can't get any more points than that, only your best 3 rounds count. So we have indeed won the title then, ahead of Chris Bridle. I'm going to bring up a picture here of the championship trophy presentation, so you can see me there with the trophy, which now sits pride of place behind me on my trophy cabinet. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that. I got very, very excited then at the end of that video. I think it was justified. I think it deserved it. You know, last lap of the race, going from, the last 2 laps, going from 3rd to 1st after spending the entire race in P3, basically. The odds were completely against us. I did not expect to win that race. When I saw the grid draw, that before the race, I saw that I was starting 15th with Chris in 7th and Josh in 3rd. I was like, nah, I can't win this. Surely not. So to win that race and on the final lap and win it in the style that we won it as well, yeah, so happy with that. As you can see from the title of this video and from the thumbnail, I do believe that is my greatest drive of all time. There's a couple that come close to it, but that was so dramatic, and the lap times were so consistent. I mean, if you just have a look at the lap times here, I think I did 18 49-second lap times, which just, yeah, I can't believe that. I could not believe it when I saw it afterwards, and I still can't believe it now. That was definitely my best drive ever. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed watching that. I think that deserves a like. I mean, if it doesn't deserve a like, then what does? So please do feel free to like the video, comment as well, just help the engagement, try and push the algorithm forwards, try and get YouTube to recommend this video to people. And yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you all then. So goodbye.